Welcome back. This is MDawg, and this is another episode of our leveling series 2020 2021. That is incorrect. 2021 2022. Okay, so hopefully you saw the last episode and you'll know that we are now headed to Old Bird for the first time. Let's go. We have 7.9 silver, which means we pretty much have no silver. It costs 7.9 silver to travel, which means it leaves us with, what, 3? Something like that. I need to turn the TV volume down over there. Okay. So we are going to go fish for bream. This might already be set up as good as we can get right now. Should have looked at hooks before coming over here. That's a 10. That's good. We do need another... Wait, what size was on the middle one? Is it smaller than 10? Yeah, so we want to switch those out, right? Whatever... Go to 10. Pearl barley. All right, let's get over there. All right, so first spot we're going to try for bream is going to be, want to make sure I'm at the right spot here, 2754, which is a very well-known bream spot. One of many bream spots here at Old Burg. There was another one. We do have the map. Nice. There's another one down here that's been active lately, but I just saw that this one has popped up recently, and I'm very familiar with this spot. So let's just try it. Let's see if having... there's not like a clear casting spot. Like this isn't exactly where we're normally from. I think we want to cast more like this. And they were using a 27 meter clip, which is a little intense, but if that's what's been working for people, we'll at least give that a try. How far past this is this going to go? Yeah, we're not even making it to the spot. So one thing we could do here is get a little heavier cages, which would allow us to cast farther, even with the gear that we have. I bet that's going, I don't know how. I don't know, it's probably going like most of the way there, but not all the way. And there's no way this one's going to make it. It's smaller. So we'll just do 25 clips. See if we can get 25. Okay, so we hit 25 with that one. So we're probably close on all three. We also had built up a little bit more energy by the time we cast that third one. So we might hit 27 with full energy now, but we'll see. Okay, so the last episode, Elephant in the Room here, there was music playing, right? So full disclosure, I was not at home, but I had it popped up on my phone that I had some, messages on YouTube, and I looked at the messages and started seeing comments that people were leaving, either supportive of or questioning the fact that there was music playing during our last episode. Well, obviously that was not intentional. This is going to make it. Yep. And it was completely a mystery. And I had it on my phone. I played the episode for a minute, and I could hear the music. And the music wasn't familiar to me, but... So I was completely just confused, right? And finally, tonight, it's been a long day, pretty busy, but got home tonight, looked at the messages again, and somebody said, hey, that's the Christmas fair music. It somehow was on loop. And then it all made sense. All of a sudden I realized exactly what had happened. So thanks for whoever pointed that out, because I hadn't had a chance to closely listen to it to see if I recognize the music. Just the part that I played in the car, it didn't sound familiar. It sounded like some sort of Irish chant, like march or something. I don't know. It was very strange. But if it is in fact the Christmas fair music, which I trust that it is, then I know exactly what happened. Because I was trying to figure out, like, okay, did I have a internet tab open? But I would hear the music while playing, so that didn't make sense. So I knew it probably had to do with my recording computer. So I've got two PCs, the one that I game on, which I say it's not new anymore, it's newer. And then my older computer, which is actually the one that I built many years ago, but that's the one that I stream from when I stream. Well, with my setup, it's just easier to kind of keep it the same. So even when I'm recording for YouTube, I still record from the older computer and stream from the newer, and play from the newer one anyway. All that being said, what had happened was, and I may have mentioned this in a couple of videos now, but I had all of my carp gear, 6 different reels, 3 rods, had all of them under repair at Volkov. And for some of those repairs, it was going to be like 180 hours, right? And you have to be logged in to count down those hours. So that's like several in-game days, several real-life hours. So what I had done is I had logged in on my main account on my recording or streaming computer and was playing from this computer on my leveling account. So I was actually logged into the game twice, but on 2 separate computers. So it was recording the sound from both applications on both computers. And what I also didn't realize is that so normally that wouldn't have really mattered, except that I didn't have the music turned off in game on the other computer, if that makes sense. So like normally I have the music all the way down. I just, when I'm recording and streaming or whatever, once you've heard the music for a while, it gets to be repetitive. It's been so long for me since I've heard it. I probably should turn the music up some just to hear like some of the normal music again. But that's where that music was coming from. So at least the mystery has been solved, because I was, the whole day that I was gone from home and couldn't like get here and really investigate, I was really confused at where that was coming from. So anyway, that's my story. I think we're all good on that, and hopefully you're not hearing any strange tunes at the moment. I've also checked my mic levels. Some people said I sounded a little lower than usual. I've adjusted mic levels just slightly, so hopefully I'm not too loud all of a sudden. But, obviously let me know if you're still experiencing any audio difficulties. So, here we are at Old Bird for the first time. We are at 27 clip, casting right out here. Obviously, from what we've seen so far, there are bream in the water. What do we have? 4.62 silver. This setup is very dangerous. The line capacity is higher than the rod. So we do need to be mindful of that and a little careful. We have smaller hook on here, and I'll just try not to turn up the mech too high. And it's still early, so some of these really small bream, hopefully as we get into evening, will turn into to larger size bream. Now if we dig and we have less energy, we're not going to fully be able to get our cast out there, but that's okay. You'll notice that we've just unlocked the ability of making semolina. So that's a big deal, because at 35% we can make garlic dough. So what my hope is that in this episode we'll maybe catch a few bream, make a little bit of silver, and use that silver to then just buy ingredients to make a bunch of baits and see if we can't get up to garlic dough, because garlic dough is probably, even if, and we'll check the weeklies in a second, it's either going to be pea porridge or garlic dough. is probably catching the best bream at Old Berg. So if we can get to garlic dough that quickly, or fairly quickly, then that's huge. So I'm going to look here in a second to see, because I'm curious what all we have made already. Like, I know we've got some pearl barley, but we could definitely use more. We've only got 217 pearl barley. So we have gotten a ton of our leveling up has been with the shovel, which is great. It saves money, but so we need to make more pearl barley. Let's see how much oatmeal and sweet dough we have. So for oatmeal, we've got 62. That's probably enough for now. Sweet dough, we've only got 30. We could make some more sweet dough. So what I'm thinking is we make about 100 pearl barley, maybe 200. Make about 100 sweet dough. We could make just a couple of wheat grains. It's expensive, but we occasionally might want to use it. And then we need to make a bunch of semolina. Semolina is not great for anything other than sometimes, like, you can catch some pretty decent sized crucian and gibbles on there. So it's possible we might want to fish with those during the day some. Like even down at the bridge, if this spot down here at the pond, some people call it the boot, but if this is active at all down there, sometimes like semolina could be a good option down there. Just making sure we don't have a fish on this. It has been in the water a long time. So maybe that's why it's not catching anything, because it was caught up on the ground somehow. I still think I think I'm going to recast it. Let's just get it out there again. This one, I don't think we've caught maybe one, maybe none on this rod so far. And this is the one that has the larger hook size, so we want that to be active. All right, somebody keeps asking me, how do you get that now the reel handle rotation speed is selected automatically? All I'm doing is hitting the R key, which normally the R key would allow you to change the reel speed. So right now, if I hold the R key, I get to change the reel speed, right, with the mouse wheel. Well, if you have a fish on, you can't change the reel speed. It's an automatic reel speed because of having the fish on. So I've noticed someone keeps asking that, and I keep forgetting to respond. So that's the answer. Let me find the last time you asked that and type it as well. Somebody also told me recently you can stand while you troll in the new boat. Thanks for that information. I don't think I knew that either. I will have to try that next time we're doing some trolling at the new Ladoga map. All right, we need some of these bream just to get a little bit bigger. All right, this will be a marker, I believe. And we obviously could get spooled in this spot. We're casting pretty far out. You know, a trophy bream could be a little risky, but it's always possible of hitting a common carp or something like that here at Old Berg. So you take a little chance here. It's worth it, though. Okay, I have both answered that question audibly as well as via typing. I apologize it took me so long. I have seen your question a couple times and I keep meaning to come back to it and answer it, but there you go. I will say this, so far the bite rate seems pretty strong. That's good news. So we'll see what else is going on, but either towards we only have one marker. Either towards the end of this episode or at the beginning of next, perhaps we'll do some crafting of baits. But we definitely want to keep digging as well. All right, so we talked about that. Yeah, that's the plan. So 100 to 200 pearl barley, 100 sweet dough or 90 sweet dough, something like that. Maybe 30 wheat grain-ish. We'll have to go to winding. And a couple hundred semolina, and then sort of see where we're at. We want to try to time it where, you know, we're getting up to 35% by the time we are through with our bait crafting. Now I'm thinking about garlic dough. Do you have to go to Quarry to get garlic dough ingredients? I should know this. I don't think so. What am I thinking of? You have to go to... Is it to get the cheese? Oh, cottage cheese is what you have to go to Quarry for, right? Oh, by the way, I should also mention, this is a work night for me, so if I am suddenly wrapping it up, you'll know why. We're still getting points with worm, with digging. It's awesome. All right, this is definitely a marker unless I've got the line and leader size really messed up, right? Just under a kilo, I think. 880 grams. Ooh, 935. I like it. Not worth much silver, though. Gotta get up over that kilo mark to really mean much of anything in terms of... But at least it's a marker, so it's not worth, you know, almost nothing. It'll be worth a silver, maybe. Something like that. Let's check the Bream weeklies to see. I know that some folks have been using garlic dough. So now the biggest Bream might be on pea porridge, but garlic dough is a better option than pearl barley. So we have that to look forward to. Every once in a while pearl barley will be on point though. I just don't know that right now it's going to be able to compete with garlic. If we don't start catching some little bit larger Bream, we may have to go back to get a couple nice cafe orders at Mosquito or hit some more Dace or Bleak at Winding to build up a little faster silver so we can get the bait harvesting up. And then after that, what we want to do is focus on ground bait. Because once you get the Bream ground bait with the right Bream baits, then you're kind of set up to get your machine of making silver going. And then you just got to figure out, you know, catch as many Bream as you can at night, and then figure out what are you going to do during the day. And if you enjoy it, and it doesn't feel like a miserable grind, then that's a good way to start building that silver up and transition to trolling at quarry, hopefully. Which is 16. Yeah, we need to be careful with that friction brake. They're still pretty small, it seems like, on the pearl barley. Boy, that was weird. I didn't even mean to pick that up. I was just going to kind of check it out and look at it because I was wondering if there was something light on there. And then it turns out there was. Now, one thing we can do is put this on the 14-gram quiver tip. And maybe we'll see that light bite a little better. Looks like there's something on the first rod now. Come on, at least give us a few bream worthy of our time. We want to have at least 6 that are 1 kilo or better. Because if you don't have that many, at least, then we could probably be making more at Mosquito, just doing the normal stuff. That's at least a marker, right? Just barely. I mean, the bite rate is incredible. You know, if garlic dough turns these into a little bit larger bream, the bite rate is awesome. Outlaw Vic says, fixing to buy my first carp rod. I said, nice, what are you getting? Sounds like he's looking for the Fortuna carp rod. So let's see, were there other, let me go back and look at previous messages. See if there's anything else for us to answer or talk about. Somebody just called a blue tag eyed, by the way, in chat. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Yeah, it was Mr. Z Film that let me know that it was the... Wait. I think your capture software must have recorded another source from your PC, or you have 2 PCs, maybe that. Yeah, exactly. That is exactly right. Robert Harding said the first bleak spot you tried, I fished for bigger rough there. Oh, interesting. The first bleak spot at wait, is he talking? He's got to be talking mosquito because he's talking about algae in the water. Okay, interesting. We'll have to try that next time we're trying to get a rough order done. Thank you for that info. So, Newtlows? Anyway, says, I bought a Mecta carp rod, 35 kilo rod, and a Siberia caliber HSV. What line should I get for it? If I was on my main account, I'd be better at answering this question. But I'd say what you want to look at is the leader, the lead core, and leader size you're going to use, and then base your line decision on that. So if you're going to put, 18 or 21 size, I mean, the lead cores come in certain sizes, right? So depending on which lead core size you're going to get, you want to do line size just over that. I wouldn't do any more than 21 on the lead core if that's one of the sizes you can get it in. Since you're using a caliber HSV, in my opinion, any more than that, then you're not really getting any advantage unless the fish is completely tired and worn out and you're dragging it. But that's not typically what carp fishing looks like. So that's where I would probably go with that size reel. So that was another small marker bream, and it just slipped off. The music. Oh, this is okay. Daniel Ferguson said the music is the Christmas fair music. It seems to have gotten stuck in a loop. That's how. Yeah, that's what clued me in. So those two comments about my other PC and the Christmas fair music is what clued me into what was going on there. Matthew says I'm gonna have that background music stuck in my head for weeks now. Yeah, sorry about that. Background music is so annoying. Yeah, sorry. Was not on purpose. Rick says, great video. Can you talk about the balance of when to upgrade your gear or when just to save for much better options that might be only a couple of levels away? Since hitting level 16 and opening up Quarry, I've never had the best gear needed, and by the time I get the gear, I am higher level and can already get better gear that's even more expensive. Yeah, well, that is the problem with the lower levels. Until you reach your upper 20s, you're going to always be leveling so much faster than you could possibly make silver. So just try not to worry about what level you are. Don't feel like, oh, I'm level 22. I should be able to purchase level 22 gear. There's just no way unless you're just like, using your credit card, which I don't recommend. It's a long grind, and the focus should be having fun, A, and then B, efficiently making silver so that you can have more fun catching the type of fish that you want to catch. So to me, if you're really interested in bottom fishing, carp fishing, a good goal to have can be saving for the caliber HSV and an appropriate carp rod. It's a little pricey, but I would probably go ahead and pair it with the Siberia Fortuna carp rod. If you want to do one of the cheaper carp rods, you can, but for how much load capacity those Siberia Fortuna carp rods have, which I think it goes up to like 36, it's not that much more silver just to get that one. Because that one you can use all the way through amber. You can catch all the carp in the game Let me see if I believe that that's true. Technically, yeah, you could catch wild carp on Fortuna, Siberia Fortuna carp rods. But so pretty much it's just going to grow with you. But those caliber HSVs, in my opinion, are a great entry-level carp reel. The other nice thing is they are spinning reels, so you can also throw them on an appropriately sized spinning rod and really troll, not in every situation in the game, but many situations in the game, because you've got a nice big spool and enough power to fish for many of the predator fish in the game. So those caliber HSVs to me are very versatile, and with what level you are, I would start saving for those to give you some flexibility between bottom fishing, primarily carp fishing, and still being able to do some good spin fishing trolling. Now, at Volkov, when I was leveling up the first time on my main account, Volkov is where I started to get into bait casting setups. But don't worry about that till you're a little higher level and kind of decide, like, do I want to focus more on... Well, I never focused just on spin fishing, but I did it enough at Volkov back in the day that it was worth it to get a steelhead, bait casting reel, put it on a, Super Duty or a Model 1 casting rod. But you don't have to do that. You can stay with the spinning setup so that you can continue to be flexible between bottom fishing and trolling or spin fishing. So I hope that's helpful. There's so much gear, so many options. It's hard to give like a blanket statement, but just have fun and don't worry about it. You're never going to be able to, at least until you're much higher level, and then it slows down and it gets so grindy in terms of leveling up. Then you'll start to catch up in silver, because it just frankly takes so much time to level. You've got time to make more silver. All right. I mean, guys, this is bad. This is real bad for Bream. This is bad enough that it's probably worth not doing it again, at least in this spot, until we get garlic dough and seeing if it's any better with garlic dough. The other thing to remember, though, is that this is a size 8 hook. This is the smallest hook I would recommend using for bream fishing. I normally like 6s, and even recently I've even been using large 1 hooks sometimes, trying to key in on just the bigger bream, not all these small fellas. So, we've got an 8 on rod 1. Rod 2, we've got a 10, which is okay, a little small, it's okay. And then this one, we've got a 12. It's way too small for bream fishing, in my opinion. Fabio says, here we go. Belaya was great for me from level 13 to 17. I was fishing Belaya until I was done with it. Then I went to Oldberg, an active bream spot, easy leveling. So the question I have for you, Fabio, is what gear were you killing it on Belaya with? Because I felt like what I was using there was just a little too weak. Not that we couldn't make any silver, we were making some, but the bigger graylings were going to really be trouble for us with that, that free setup. It's a chub, isn't it? We haven't had a fish on the first rod in a while. I think it was kind of stuck on the bottom again, maybe. Somebody asked in chat, is it good to make 36 kilo leader for carp? I mean, it depends on your gear. And then they said, all right, I'll make one. I mean, you don't really have to make leaders for carp. Wait, what am I thinking? Yes, you do. Are you making it with carp material? The important part is to make sure your gear can handle that big a line, that big a leader. looks like you found a good spot there with a good bite rate. I haven't tried that spot myself because it doesn't leave you much room to chase a fish, and I'm still using the Spinning Light Pro Kit for Belaya, so it's not the strongest gear in the world. This is Kinusal, by the way. So he's talking about that spot we hit at Belaya. Let's see, the spot I was fishing might be dead now, but it was a few meters north of the cafe, casting straight out. Yeah, that'd be a safer spot to fish for sure. I don't know about those snowflake lures because I haven't tried one, but I've noticed I tend not to catch many fish when the temperature gets to around 18. I posted that initial comment partway through watching the video. As soon as I hit play again, you ran to the exact spot I was talking about and caught nothing. Just my luck. No worries. You were using Spiker 18. Temperature is too high. Let's see. So you were looking at gear at the end of the video. I used the Light Spinning Pro Kit. It's around 700 silver at Mosquito Winding. Maybe a bit pricey, but I think it was much higher. I was much higher level when I bought it and finally used it at Belaya. At least you get a stronger rod and reel for your silver, and it's cheaper than buying the same gear individually. I use braided line. Even though it wears out the reel faster, it still gives you more line to avoid getting spooled. Yeah, for sure. No, I agree with that completely. And I also think you're right. Why is it doing that? Just getting stuck on the bottom in some spots. We might need a little, I don't know. I don't know if a heavier cage would make that. I don't know. But those are some good comments and very helpful. And yeah, I think if I was going to spend a lot of time at Belaya, I probably would look at that Pro Kit. Although that is a pretty big silver investment at this point. So you'd have to be really determined to get your money's worth out of that at Belaya. Because you definitely could get a different setup that would be more ideal for trolling quarry, even though you might not be able to use it at Belaya because of the test on those small lures, small spinnerbaits. Somebody says, why didn't you Alt F4? I just choose not to most times, but yeah, Alt F4 is always a good option if you don't want to lose the lure. I don't know, I feel like this has changed a little bit in modern times, but back in the day, a lot of times the trophy bream would come in around 7 a.m. So I'm not, I'm going to keep fishing this at least a couple more minutes, but it's clear this spot's it's just not great. At least with these baits. With these baits and this hook size, not great. We're still getting points. I wonder if that's been adjusted slightly. I just don't ever remember getting points this consistently digging at this high of a percentage. I feel like by 25% in the past at least, it would be pretty rare to get points on digging. We're still getting points regularly. I mean, did we make 10 silver all night? I don't even know. At least we got to fish for bream, but this is not the way to do it. We'll try different spots, or we'll wait till we have garlic dough and see if that works better. I never did look at the weekly. Sorry about that. All right. Where are those brims at? Ooh, that's what I like to see. Garlic dough, garlic dough, garlic dough, garlic dough. Red worm. Could have tried red worm. Yeah, just too slow. Too slow on the sizes. All right, let's get these couple of fish in and go sell them up. Now, just because we can't make bream work doesn't mean we can't go try other things at Oldberg, namely like roach, Grecian gibbles. I mean, it's a little samey with mosquito, and sometimes the mosquito cafe orders are just superior. But it can be fun to fish Oldberg because every once in a while you'll catch like a random tench or, you know, a common carp and really stress out. But just depends on what's going on. I'll try to keep my eye open on different spots and stuff that pop up. If you guys have any info, feel free to let me know. But we got to be making a little more silver than this just so that we can get that bait harvesting leveled up for the garlic dough. That really stinks. This normally would be such an easy order to do on any bream spot, but that bream spot was not having it. Whew, 16. Okay, I'll take it. I thought it was going to be less than that. Yeah, so as long as they're a marker, it's going to be over a silver, so it adds up. So we're back up to 20. We do need to get quite a few ingredients for things like making more pearl barley and other stuff. We just didn't really make enough silver to do this aggressively. Let's see, if we make 10, I don't know that we need 10. We're getting points on digging still. What do we get, 30 per batch? Is that right? I feel like it might be 30. So maybe we just get 5 of them? Anyway, we'll work on all that next time. Still getting points. And red worms. Okay, as always, thanks for watching. We will see you next time. Tight lines, everybody.